Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It's your boy Mythical. About 94% of you guys aren't subscribed, so if you guys could please sub. So before today, I decided I was gonna do like my own devil fruit tier list. Like everybody, there's already a lot of tier lists already. I know, but I thought it would just be good just to make my own, because like every YouTuber has their own interpretations of how good a fruit is. Same with like everybody, but this is just supposed to be my version of a devil fruit tier list. If you want to check it out, if you agree with it, that's fine. If you don't, that's also fine. So this has nothing to do with like value or anything like that. It's just my interpretation, like in terms of like overall greatness, like farming, PvP, dungeons, etc. Like which one's better. So also I'm gonna try and keep it as quick as possible. Like I really just don't think that it's necessary to make one of those extremely long videos when there's not even a lot of fruits, and I don't even need like a broad like summary about it. Like I really just have to say what I think it's good for, what it's good at, what it's bad at, etc. And yeah, that's about it. So the spin and kilo, obviously I'm not even gonna bother. Obviously F tier. These two are practically terrible for like everything, not really useful. I mean, they are kind of useful for like PvP. If you're like a new player, I guess, like spin isn't that bad. Kilo is pretty bad though. But spin, they still both deserve to be an F tier, but I would say spin is at least like somewhat useful compared to kilo, but both just F tier in general. Okay. So moving on to the rares. Now, Mera, honestly not really useful for like grinding, like dungeons, farming, etc. It's not really good for anything other than PvP, which is why I would put it in D tier. I mean, it doesn't really have any other practical use. Okay, moving on, we have Bari. Now, Bari like can be useful for a lot of things. I would definitely say it's a lot more useful than Mera automatically. Like you can like do good combo extenders with it. And not only that, it can be useful for like dungeons, stuff like that, when you're trying to like block. Or like the one move where you're like it holds you in the thing. So, but I'd still put it in D tier though. I don't think it really belongs in C tier. Next up we have Bamu. Now Bamu, I would say, is a little significantly better for like overall in the game. Like it's not only is it good for PvP, but I would say it's great for like dungeons. Not really boss. Yeah, it's also useful for like boss farming too, I would say. Like if you're using the ultimate and you're like farming with people, it's a great thing to use. So I'm gonna have to put it in C tier actually. I don't know why I did that. And then after that we have Gumu. Now Gumu, honestly, I'm gonna put it in D tier. Not really a lot of practical use. I mean, it can be good for dungeons. Like I've seen like that one video where you can like one shot all of them in one go. But I'd say like it's not very like easy to do. Like I would say it's kind of complicated. And not only that, it's not really good for like farming. It's okay for PvP, I guess. But I'd say it's definitely less than Bari. Honestly, in my personal opinion, I would even put it below Mera. Actually no, that's a bit of a stretch. It's good for grinding actually. So maybe C tier actually. Would that make sense? Because I've seen a lot of people grind with Gumu. Like it might be one of the best. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna keep it in C tier. Okay, C tier is fine. And next up we have Horo. Now Horo, automatically D tier. Not really good for anything other than PvP. I guess like the move that like lets you go, like teleport through stuff, is kind of useful in a sense, but like I said, it doesn't really deserve to be in like C tier, because like other for like just PvP, it's not really useful. I'd still put it like, I would say Mera and Horo are about equal. But yeah, that's about it. Honestly, just looking at these, I feel like I'm missing some devil fruits, but like at the same time, we don't have as much as like we've always thought that we've had. Like there's really not that much now that I think about it. Anyways, I'm gonna move on to Yomi. Now, Yomi is honestly perfect for PvP. For grinding, I guess it's okay. But honestly, I don't really see it. Like, in my personal opinion, I think it belongs in C tier. Some people are probably gonna disagree with me with that, and that's fine. I'm just like, from my personal experience, I just don't think it's really that good for anything other. Like, it's a PvP fruit, okay? Okay, next up we have Goro. Now, Goro, I would say it's perfectly balanced for like everything. It's decent for PvP. It's fine for dungeons and like farming. Like I would say it's like, out of like all the fruits, it's one that's not like super good, but not super bad. Like it's neutral in my personal opinion. After that, we have Dura. Now, Dura, honestly, not really good for grinding. It's more of a PvP fruit, to be honest. See, I feel like it's kind of bad to like put these two fruits in with the rares, but I'm talking like even though they're still better because they're legendaries, it's more about like what that fruit can do, you know what I mean? So which is why I think it's justifiable. So honestly, I would put this in C tier, to be honest. High C tier, it's more of a PvP fruit, block breaker fruit, etc. Okay, next up we have Hiei. I'd say B tier, perfectly balanced. It's good for dungeons. It's great for PvP. It's decent for farming. Not the best for farming, to be honest. So I would put it below Goro at least, but still B tier. I mean, it's around that range. Okay, next up we have Ito. Now Ito, automatically, like I would even put this like here. Ito is not good at all. Like just for anything other than PvP, it just has great combo extenders. And that's about it. Kage. A lot of people are probably gonna disagree with me on this. Actually no. I think it belongs in B tier. I was gonna put in A tier, but then I realized it doesn't really deserve A tier, but it does have that title. It's great for PvP, and not only that, the shadow move can be super useful. I don't think a lot of people realize that, but that can be super useful for like farming. Not farming like, I mean like farming like NPCs, like levels and stuff like that. And then also when we're talking about just when we're talking about like dungeons, stuff like that, like the move that lets you, I don't even remember what it's called, but the move that lets you have your own shadow to help you out, that's extremely useful. So I would have to put it in B tier, in my personal opinion. I think a lot of people don't like Kage for some reason. I don't blame them, but I love Kage. I think it's good. Okay, so moving on, we have Paw. Paw, I honestly also see kind of like a PvP fruit. Like some of the aspects of it can be super useful. Like the one move can be good for like bosses maybe. Like the one where you don't take as much damage, the ultimate. But overall, I don't really see Paw being good for like anything other than PvP. So I'm gonna have to put it in C tier too. I feel like where I'm putting stuff like is gonna lead to like a lot of like hate in the comments. But this is like just my personal opinion, like on like how useful they are, etc. Now moving on, we have Magu. Magu's like an instant A, good for like practically everything. It's not amazing for PvP, but it's basic enough that you can land like the basic combos. So I would say Magu. Like I don't think I really need to explain why Magu's in A tier. It's just like one of those fruits. Okay, moving on, we have Mera. In my personal opinion, Mera's an S tier. Perfect for everything. PvP, dungeons, like you name it, Mera's just good for everything. So I think Mera's an instant S tier in my personal opinion. And then I'm not gonna go in order though. I should probably save the mythicals for last. Suna's gonna have to go in B tier. I think it's good at PvP. It's decent for farming if you know how to use it correctly. It can also be good for like cracking and stuff like that. That's what I've heard, from what I heard. But it definitely belongs in B tier. I think Suna's a very underrated fruit, and some people are probably gonna hate me, but I think Suna's super underrated, and it deserves this spot. Okay, then Pika. Also, Pika and Magu are like in the same like range, like perfect for a lot of things. Not like super good, but like they belong in A tier, in my personal opinion. And then moving on, we have Zushi. In my personal opinion, I would say Zushi's kind of like here, like not really good for grinding or like other stuff, but it's good for PvP, mostly like a PvP fruit. Okay, like the video's almost over, so we have Tori and Mochi. So I'm gonna start with Tori. Now, in my personal opinion, I do not think Tori is good. Like, it's good for PvP, like dungeons, but if I'm being honest, I would even put it in C tier. We're waiting for the revamp. So it's probably gonna be better. I mean, it's fine for dungeons, I guess, because you can just like fly. Maybe low C tier would be better. But either way, I just don't think Tori's a very good fruit, and it doesn't live up to the name of Mythical. And then everyone already anticipated where I was gonna put Mochi, obviously. But honestly, in my personal opinion, I'm not even sure if it belongs in S tier. Let's talk about it. So it's good for PvP, obviously. It's good for dungeons. I would say it's good for grinding, yeah. So yeah, I would say, in my personal opinion, Mera's a better fruit than Mochi, but they both belong in S tier. But like I said, this is all just based off my personal opinion, and that's just it for this tier list. Like in my personal opinion, and like terms of like what's good for dungeons, what's good for PvP, what's the fruit that's like perfectly balanced for all of those, I would say this is my tier list, like which fruit is better. But that's it. If you enjoyed this tier list, if you disliked it, that's fine. But I'll see you guys in another video, okay?